So Joe Biden, unsurprisingly, is disappointing yet again. Here's a story that, popped up on my feed the other day. This is in Democracy Now! They say, Joe Biden supports unelected Juan Guaido in Venezuela and says the U.S. should keep sanctions against Cuba. So there's so much to say about this. I mean, let's focus on the Cuba part for a second first. This is one of the few areas where I think Obama deserved massive credit. In fact, I retweeted, shout out to Kulinski Show on Twitter. He tweeted or retweeted an old segment that I had done. Segment I'm very proud of because it took a lot of work. It was my Obama report card segment, where I give Obama a grade for his presidency, and I go through in excruciating detail all of the positive things and all of the negative things that Obama did. And one of the areas where he gets flat out credit is what he did with Cuba. He moved us in the right direction with Cuba. He did the kind of policy that, I would have done if I was president, which is move towards peace, move towards opening up relations. There's no reason for the embargo. There's no reason for sanctions. It makes no sense. It's really dumb. It's really silly. So Biden was part of that administration. So if you had talked to me previously, I honestly would have said, I bet Biden would continue to go in the same direction as Obama with Cuba. Now, Trump has done the opposite. Trump has now cracked down again on Cuba. Totally disagree with Trump on that. He's listening to the neocon warhawks in his administration. But I would have guessed that Biden is likely to continue the Obama path because there's this sort of understandable thing that you default to what he did, what his record shows that he did, or what his record shows that he was a part of. So, that's one of the reasons why I don't believe Biden when he says, oh yeah, now I'm in favor of a $15 living wage, is that he never talked about it before. He never believed in it before. Just now he's come to it. Bernie had to throw him the softball down the center of the plate. He never brings it up on a regular basis. And when he was vice president, they didn't do Dickie McGee's acts on that front. So that's one of the reasons why, your record is super important because it indicates what you're probably going to do in the future. So I would have said Biden will probably be better on the issue of Cuba than Trump. Turns out, no. Apparently, he's out there saying the U.S. should keep sanctions against Cuba. So he's flying directly in the face of Obama as he runs on I'm the continuation of Obama's legacy. Well, then you should do what he was doing with Cuba because he was right about Cuba. He was right. But no, Biden is going right back to, this hawkish approach. Totally disagree with that. So now, again, this is such a perfect encapsulation of why the left is miserable. Because now you got Trump who's cracking down on Cuba and Biden who's saying, yeah, I'll keep those sanctions in place if you vote for me. Where's the difference? There's no difference. We don't have two different competing policy visions here. It's so depressing. Now, but this one's perhaps even more frustrating. He supports Juan Guaido in Venezuela. Guys, Juan Guaido is a goddamn joke, this guy. Honestly, in my life covering politics, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. Maybe you could say the Ahmed Chalabi thing in Iraq, but it was a little bit different because he never got into power, but it's not like they pretended he had it. It's like they said, oh, he's going to be the leader of Iraq post-Saddam, and then he just wasn't, and then we moved on. In the case of Juan Guaido, he's running around the Western world doing committees and conferences and talking to world leaders, and it's like all of the Western countries have agreed, let's pretend like Juan Guaido is the leader, the president of Venezuela. They've all agreed to that. Trump has had him here in the U.S., and they introduce him like he's the leader of Venezuela. He's not the leader of Venezuela. Again, whatever you personally think of Nicolas Maduro, that's irrelevant to this conversation. We all agree, because it's an objective fact, he is running Venezuela. He's the president. He's the leader. That's not contested. In terms of the facts, it's not contested. It's clear. It's obvious. But all of the Western world has agreed. We're just going to pretend like Juan Guaido is the leader of Venezuela. And we're just going to invite him to all these events and treat him like a head of state. And I've never seen anything like this before. So this is, it's a coup, but it's a weird kind of coup where it's like nothing actually worked. Nothing actually happened. There was an attempt recently, but they got stopped by fishermen. Hilarious. But so this is Joe Biden saying, yeah, I agree. And it's so hilarious because what do the Democrats do all the time? They do those sanctimonious lectures about, President Trump, he doesn't believe in democracy. Yeah. They love bringing them, democracy is at risk with this president. Democracy, yeah. Democracy. They love doing that. And then now, are they abiding by who the leader is of a sovereign country? No. They're like, well, we chose Juan Guaido for your country, Venezuela. We picked him for you. So now we're going to pretend like he's the leader. And Joe Biden's like, awesome, let's do that. That's not democracy. That's not democracy. Now, you could have a million, disagreements with Maduro, and I do. All right? I'm not letting him off the hook here at all. But the idea that the United States of America, a foreign country, can pick the leader willy-nilly of a sovereign nation, no. That's dictatorship. That's authoritarianism. That's us telling a sovereign country what they can and can't do, who they can and cannot pick for their leader. Now, they have many internal problems. Let them handle it on their own, okay? I'm not prescribing anything specific here for what Venezuela should or shouldn't do. It's on them. It's on them. But to have the U.S. pick Juan Guaido, pretend he's the leader, declare him the leader, and have Trump, of course, spearheading this movement because he's listening to all of his neocon buddies, and Biden's like, yeah, totally, I support Juan Guaido for Venezuela. Well, then spare me the sanctimonious lectures about freedom and democracy. Guys, it's the same old tune. How many times have we seen this? You get, Syria is another good example. Now, this is to say nothing about Bashar al-Assad in one direction or another. But the U.S. wants to get rid of him and have somebody else in power. Okay, well then stop pretending you love democracy. What we love is authoritarians who are U.S. friendly. That's what we love. Specifically, authoritarians who are friendly to U.S. business, friendly to U.S. corporations and industry. That's what we love. But we pretend we cloak it in these nonsense talking points about freedom and democracy and human rights. We cloak it in arguments about human rights as we backed jihadist rebels on the ground in many countries, including Syria. It's out of this world. It's so frustrating and so hypocritical. And this goes to show you, again, another reason why so many people are frustrated with Biden on the left and they're miserable and they don't want to vote for him, is that he, on top of being wrong on this stuff, there's the added element of the endless moralizing as if he's a good person. He loves to pat himself on the back and suck his own junk and act like, I will bring this country back to morality. Yes. They want to think of themselves as like these moral, ethical saviors of America from the evil Donald Trump. But then they agree with him on this stuff, and they continue so many of the same policies in so many ways. And it's like, well, at least with Trump, as he does these terrible policies, he's not pretending to be super moral. There's this weird, implied admission. Yeah, he talks all, I'm going to win. We're going to win nonstop. I'm such a winner. He does that stuff. But there is some sort of weird implied thing of I know who I am and what I am with Trump. Whereas the Democrats are they're on their high horse. And then they do a lot of the same stuff. And it's well, get off your damn high horse then. You should stop doing the stuff, but let's just admit up front here that they're not going to do that. So at least get off your damn high horse. At least embrace what you are, but they're not going to do that. So it's just so frustrating. Here we are again. I wish I could give you guys better news that, hey, here's an area where Biden actually is super different. Hey, we could talk about those. You want to talk about those? I do think he's much better with the courts. He will pick centrist judges instead of far-right judges. Okay, that's an area where he's better. He's going to be better on social issues like abortion. He's going to be better on the Paris Climate Agreement. There are areas where he's better, but I wish there were more, and I wish they were more substantive. But instead, we got a continuation of the dumbest. Like, not only is this evil and wrong and ridiculous and anti-democratic, it's also just so stupid because of the fact that this guy is a joke and he's been pretending to be a leader of a country he's not a leader of. And Biden's going right along with it and like, yeah, totally, I support that guy. Noam Chomsky said it. We have two wings of the same party. It's two wings of the business party here in America. And, you know, perhaps that's not the best description of what's going on here because this is more about foreign policy than domestic policy or economic policy. But honestly, when it comes to foreign policy too, you do have two wings of the same party. As a general rule, you have the hard power wing and the soft power wing. The hard power wing is like, hey, let's ground invade absolutely everywhere we want and do regime change. And let's run the world like that with an iron fist. That's the neocon warhawk approach. And then you have the soft power approach. So the soft power approach is, whoa. Don't get crazy here and talk about ground invasions. That's too direct. Instead, let's run the world with air power. We'll use airstrikes. We'll use drone strikes. We'll use soft power around the world. That's the other wing. Why can't we have the wing of let's mind our own goddamn business and let's not use military force unless it's to defend the nation from imminent attack? Where's that wing? Where's that wing? It's not allowed in the room. It's not allowed in the conversation because we're an empire. So both parties have bought into the logic of being an empire. And this is the result. Congratulations, everybody. We have two options that have the same policies when it comes to Venezuela and Cuba.